Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii, and my co-host is here, and she's okay right now. Greetings, Tina. I'm glad you're back. Say hello to everybody.
Greetings, Tommy. Hello, everybody. I'm Tina Bird here from Southampton in the UK. I've been absent for a few weeks. I've been a bit ill and had some surgery done, and people commented. I think one of our regular viewers didn't recognise me last time I was on. Bit of a puffy face due to my surgery, but I'm fine and I'm back this week. Me and Tommy have lots to get through, so let's hand it back to Tommy in Hawaii. Tommy.
All right, people. There's so much we got to get into. I don't know how long Tina can stay here. Greetings. How long Tina's going to be able to stay with us? But there's so many things going on here in Hawaii and around the world, as if you didn't know it, that we have to talk about. The UFO world is playing games. I mean, they're having all kinds of conventions for the past 3 months. Uh, One at Mount Shasta. They have another one going on this weekend. And Laura Eisenhower kind of punked out of doing our show. But that's okay because I don't agree with her, and she just really afraid of me right now. So I put a big thing up on her site about this show that we're doing today. All right, I do with truth, and my motto is truth only, no lies here. Tina's completely agreement on certain things, like the truth, for one. And that's what we want to put out there. We're not trying to make money off of this. We don't. Well, she might be able to get into the lecture scene, which she deserves to be, because she's probably one of the most important abductees. Abductees, not experiencer. All right, people will get into that, but that's not the critical point. There's major things happening. All right, I don't know where we should start, but I guess I want to start far away. We're going to start off in Turkey. Now, I don't know if you know how many people died already. If you're on the news, keep an eye on the news. It went from 2,000 to 10,000 to 20,000 to 22,000, 33,000. Now they said it could be 100,000 people dead and suffering. And now they're actually saying 2.5 million people are suffering. But there was a big scene outside lecturing a woman on a post with a bunch of people. It's online. And she's saying, the government is fighting with our people. They caused the earthquake with the HARP system. They do have a HARP system. They've been playing with it for months now in Turkey. So I don't know if you know this. They could take out a lot of things with that if they hit Russia with it. I don't know what Russia's doing with their systems as well. But it's one of the most dangerous weapons on the planet. The United States has 6 of them, 2 in Hawaii, one in Alaska, sorry, and somewhere else in the United States. I don't know where the other one is. But they are incredible devices created by Mr. Tesla, most dangerous weapons on the planet. They're a little different than CERN. CERN's, they're trying to create a black hole to go through, which is also dangerous to right now. Now, here's the things that are happening. The Ring of Fire is on fire, people. In the past couple months, 5 months, the ring has never had that many over 5.0 earthquakes in a day. They have anywhere from 3 to 8 in one day. And then when Turkey got hit, they had 10 in one day, 10 the next day, 5 the next day. But 2 other countries are having major problems as well. But it's going off. So there's a reason for all this. The sun's activity a week ago had the biggest solar flare. And they gave it a name. But now, just 2 days ago, a piece of the sun broke off. And they said it's the size of the Earth. All right. That's a complete danger, people, whether you understand it or not. It takes 2 years for the radiation from that to hit us. But the major effects could hit us within 2 weeks. Now, everything we're talking about all ties together. You might not understand it now, but listen to everything. Please listen to the show if you're on. Don't drop off. You want the information. You want the truth. Stay here. All right. Here's the thing. I want everybody to send this link to everybody they know. It's rather important to hear what's going on. This lady was talking about they set off the earthquake, and the whole city crumbled. So there's a reason for it. There's a reason for everything in my book. It just doesn't happen. Oh, spirit was mad and just threw an earthquake at us and things like that. We create karma and energy. And in the UFO world, everybody's trying to play with energy, rearranging DNA, rearranging the Earth energy, and playing with things like that, trying to get off the Earth. So all this is happening at the same time. Do you want to add? I'll let you talk about that before I go into a little bit deeper. Tina?
So there's a couple of things Tommy just touched on. So I'm just going to grab my cup of tea quickly. Thank you very much. Tommy's hit the nail on the head. As always, he's always on the pulse, so don't miss the show. So a few things this week, and basically mainly this week that I've missed. And again, I do apologise for my presence in the last couple of weeks being ill. But back to what Tommy said, things that are in the sky and the ring of fire and earthquakes. I'm not sure if people know this, but the UK actually had an earthquake, a noticeable earthquake this week. It happened here in the UK. I think it was a day or two after one in Turkey and Syria. They're mega ones. We only had a small one. I think it was like 2.6 or 2.8. It's still a goer for us. We don't normally have. Every continent suffers tremors and earthquakes, but we had it actually here in the UK, which is quite unknown here in the UK. But we had an actual earthquake. So it's a little below 3 earthquake this week. Other things that Tommy's touched on. Now, I don't know if people have been watching it about the UFOs and being shot down and things like that, but along with this, we go up and down the sun. We obviously revolve around the sun, but we're in the part of the universe, so we stick our head up a bit on one of the top of the waves. Well, last time we were here, I believe the dinosaurs were alive and things like that. But at the same time, they had a lot of meteors, asteroid, fireballs, things that hit the Earth. That's just probably whatever's in the space near us. But recently, we've had a lot more, and a lot more has been undetected by NASA. That's just been seen at the last minute. Now, an observatory in Hungary discovered an asteroid called 2023 CX1 just 7 hours before it struck. It was seen, so well done to Hungary. Hungary was the first ones to observe this. 7 hours after they observed it, it went over the English Channel. So I'm not sure. I'll have to check to see if that's the same day we had the earthquake. Don't know. But it was seen burning up and coming into entry over the English Channel where I live. Also, so there's been meteors have struck the Earth as well this week. So apart from fireballs going over the English Channel spotted by Hungary, meteors have been hitting, I believe, Montana. So it's interesting that meteors have been hitting Montana area, and just at the top of Montana, you've been having the UFOs being shot down. So I'm not sure if there's a link. If anyone could tell me, Richie or anyone in our chat room or any scientific person or meteorologist, if there's a link between the earthquakes, fireballs, and the asteroids hitting us, that we're having these UFO things shot down, let us know. And also on that note, which Tommy did touch on a couple of seconds ago, now we've had a balloon. US and Canada have had a balloon shot down. Fair enough. But they've had 3 other objects. One was hexagonal, I believe, and the other one was cylindrical, like a cigar. And I'm not quite sure what the third object was that was shot down. Now, they're just saying that unidentified at this point in time. So, I mean, if they were balloons, they would have said that they were balloons. They just said that they didn't know what the objects were. So they're not discounting anything, including extraterrestrial life. That came from an American general, so in the military in America. So they have 3. But today, China announced that they'd actually, let me get this right, they'd actually shot down an unknown object, a UFO, over the Dongong province in China. So China seems to be shooting down these things, as well as the US and Canada. Is it an invasion? Is it obviously not weather balloons? Because I'm sure highly trained pilots could see that it's a weather balloon. So if they're not calling it a weather balloon, it's an unknown object. Well, therefore, it's not an aeroplane. It's not a hovercraft in the air. It's not a weather balloon. It's not gas or mist. So some gas. So that's ruled out 95% of things of the objects it could be. It's not Superman, and it's not a bird, and it's not a plane. So the list is getting smaller of what these things could be. Other news on that. The government. I've been watching a city prepper. I think he's American, but the Swedish government, in an unusual move. They're normally pretty good. They're very quiet, and of course some part Norse. But the news from Sweden is the government announced this week they told all of their citizens in Sweden to become preppers and basically hunker down. So the news out of the government news from Sweden to its people, to its citizens, to the Swedish citizens, were to hunker down, be prepared, save food. They were showing how. They were teaching classes of all the Swedish people how to make how to be safe, how to make fires, all of that. So you can watch that on YouTube and news. If you're in Sweden, please give us a heads up and come onto the show. I know we do have watchers in Sweden that have been on our show before. So if you're out there, guys, just give us a nod and let us know what the government is saying to you. But I'll let Tommy continue from there. Tommy's right. Lots of news. I've heard there's been lots of sightings again over Hawaii and parts of the state, but it's interesting. The asteroid, the meteors, the fireball, something like doomsday. Tommy.
All right. Now, whatever the government says, I would exit. They don't tell us what's really happening, first off. You didn't hear much about the sun. It should be all over the news in detail right now. All right. When they say UFO, they don't say a UFO. I mean, they're trying to say a lot of them are balloons and they're all coming from China, which is a ridiculous statement because, like Tina mentioned about the cylinder objects. Now, a week ago on Hawaiian TV, they showed a ship come over Hawaii, a UFO, and 500 people called into the police department. They all saw it. The videos are up online. All right. It's a cylinder ship. But here's the thing. They didn't say much about it, just said it's an unidentified flying object. The government says it's not theirs. And that's the way it ended. And you won't hear another thing about that in Hawaii. But a friend of mine shot an incredible video. He's afraid to give it to me. He's afraid to put it up. I don't know how much money he'd want me to offer him to get it from him. But I said, look, I'll put my name on it. They won't come after you. I'll say I filmed it. I mean, maybe he wants the credit for filming it, but he doesn't want to get taken out by the government either. So I didn't see him today. I was going to try to snag him before this morning to see what I could do, if I could really. I said, he needs to release it now. He shot 12 ships coming from the ground, going up. They go up into a space here, and they go around in a circle like this, and they go like that, and disappear out into space. All right, he shot 12 of them in about a couple minutes. He was standing on the back of his truck with a camera and a laser, and he filmed the whole thing. So there's so much going on here in Hawaii. I got more incredible information. Some of it I can't release right now about the bases of alien bases here and stuff. There's 2 different alien races here, but their bases are in the ocean. So that's why everybody sees these green orbs going into the ocean. I have a friend that went down into one. I'm not going to go into that right now. The person's not ready to come on TV or anywhere, so I can't bring it out yet. But I'm dealing with the top people. Realize, people, I'm not like all these other UFO people. If they don't tell me what I believe is the truth, I don't listen to them. I don't watch Ancient Aliens because I don't like to hear people, I think it's this, or it could be this. I want people that know it's something. Somebody that was next to a ship, next to an alien. Not, well, this guy told me. And then when they tell us, well, I saw it, like they were there and they actually were the person that did it. And they're not. And they go on and they got more people come on saying the same thing. So I'm a terrorist to them. I say, look, anybody that has a pair of balls, I'll debate them anytime. Their show, my show, offline. I said, the truth needs to come out. And if you have any, you need to release it. My suggestion was we should all around the world release our videos in one day. Like, say, let's pick next week. And everybody puts all their videos up around the world. There's incredible videos. I saw 4 incredible videos this week. Now, I didn't go into the fact that I can't prove any of them yet, which I'm working on. One is a ship going into the ocean. Two major battleships are on both sides of it, and they watch it go down into the water. The other one is there's 3 jets following it, and the 2 are shooting alongside of it, and the other one in the back's filming it all. So I'm not saying they can't be faked. Everything could be fake nowadays. But then again, we also can see the truth. We got better cameras than we ever had. So we can see a lot more things. And more people have a camera. I just ordered the newest Samsung phone, which has an incredible night camera in it. I should be getting it by the end of this week. So my camera, Samsung 21, is really good. But I got a monocular. It's incredible zoom. I could zoom into a star and blow it up so big. But the only thing is it has a small view. So when I'm looking at these UFOs and stuff and trying to film it, it's trying to get this to line up with that little dot that's going across the sky and multiplying and stuff. It's hard. I got another camera which has a wider view, which I didn't even get to use. It's raining every single night now. The past 2 months, I haven't been able to go outside on my platform I made to get on the roof to watch the sky. I haven't been able to get on it once. The other one week, it was clear for about 2 minutes. I said, "Oh, let me go out." I got dressed, go out, climb up on the deck, and the clouds came over me within 5 minutes maximum. So I can't say it's the government, but you know what's funny? The clouds come in a circle. Circle clouds usually come from one direction to the other, but when I'm out there looking, and it comes in from all sides, it's like it just closes in like a periscope or whatever, and it just comes in a circle, and boom, it's gone, completely covered with clouds. So I haven't been able to film anything, and there's so many things. I went out 2 days ago in the morning to take the garbage bag out. The sun wasn't up yet. It was about 5:30, and the clouds were everywhere. I look up, there was a clear space in the sky. All of a sudden, I look up and I see this light blink at me twice and then shoot across, going through the clouds super fast. Not a UFO. I mean, it had to be a UFO. It wasn't a satellite. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't any of those things. All right. And then another ship came cruising the other way, but this one wasn't blinking or blinked like big spotlight. So this is just 2 days ago. People, there's things happening everywhere. And I'm sure the government's going to push everybody out there to say everything's fake and this is that, this is a comet. When they shoot something down, they're going to say it's a comet. They're not going to say it's a UFO. This is no lie. A couple years ago, I was up on my lookout tower at another house. I mean, I built this giant lookout tower over a tree. And I look and I see this big ball coming across the sky with this flames coming out of the back of it. I said, wow, I didn't know what it was. I said, it can't be a UFO. Because they usually don't have flames trailing in back of them. But then all of a sudden it stops. 3 little balls shoot out across the horizon. And I filmed that part of it. And then it just disappeared, the other part. On the news that night, they said a Russian satellite from 1954 crashed into the Earth today. From 1954, it has flames shooting out of it. It shoots rockets out of the front. And it's just a satellite? Really? So what I'm trying to tell you is whatever you see, start taking pictures. Everybody has a camera. Film it, whatever, but the best you can. I mean, and this way you can't tell yourself somebody else filmed it. Once you see a UFO for yourself, you don't have to say, well, I don't believe in them. I don't want to listen to that person.
I've got a question for you, Tommy. Sorry, it's just come up with my messages. As excuse me. Do you think this is the beginning of a false flag event that was foretold by Yuri Geller? And was it Yuri Geller who said that there would be a false flag event?
Everybody's predicting that. I mean, all right, let me say this. I that's what I want to talk about. I watched 3 major shows talking about that. One of them said, basically, they're going to create a fake alien invasion so they could set up for war with Russia and China. All right, now, NORAD, I was going to buy a piece of property directly over NORAD, for real. My ex-girlfriend put $450,000 down, and we're looking at the place where we're going to buy and everything, and we hear, boom! Boom! And we walk back, what's that noise? Oh, that's NORAD. I said, well, what are they doing? Well, the rockets go in and out all day long. I said, we're going to be hearing that all day long, all night. And I took a picture just in this distance. It looked like the Empire State Building with a rainbow coming straight down on an angle from it. And there was nothing there. And then we decided to cancel the property. But what I'm saying, today, NORAD's supposed to be doing a whole, I forgot the words, back 4 or something. And they're going to be doing this rocket testing over the White House. All right. So they're doing all this testing. Why? And now getting back to this other thing, the 2 other speakers said, well, they're going to make everybody start thinking about aliens and forget about the war, so they can move forward with the war. They're planning on it. All right. Now getting back to this was predicted. I say if aliens going to have a war with us, they will have a war with us. They won't have a fake war with us. I don't know, Kentucky. It won't be a fake war. It'll be a real war. All right. But there is a real war going on right now. And I call it abductees like Tina. All right. That's a war. It's not a game. And it's not make believe like all these people. Well, I don't believe in it. All that. That's their problem. But that's only the beginning. Tell everybody, pull up Phil Snyder's story. Listen to what happened to him and what he did and what went down. Grays aren't here to be friends with us, people. Well, the good aliens. Good aliens. It's like saying a good alligator or a good lizard or a good turtle. Oh, he's a good turtle. That's a bad turtle. No, we have the same agenda. Our level of perception of it is different. I mean, what a person's level of good and what a person's level of love is different, but we all have the same agenda: eat, drink, and party. I mean, what's our agenda? So aliens' agenda coming here. If you put a bunch of people in a ship, you're going to make sure they're following your agenda. They're not going to take all the homeless people from their country, planet, stick them in a spaceship and send them to Earth. I mean, like Superman when they put all the bad guys in this disc and sent it through space and then it crashed. So, people, wake up. Show me a good alien, what a good alien ever did in the past 10,000 years or even 100,000 years. They never helped us. Now, let me just finish this. If they were good, if there was really good aliens with any kind of power or super anything, they could help us. All right? A little. We wouldn't be in the worst condition we have ever been in. We wouldn't be playing with the worst weapons ever in history and actually attacking each other, killing children and women and everything else. We would not be there. If an alien was good, Jesus came, he was trying to be good. Buddha came out, he was trying to be good. I mean, they're not coming out to destroy a country or something.
I've got a question for you, Tommy. So, what makes people think that human beings meeting aliens would make human beings any better? How do they know? Contacts happened, right? There's no two ways about it. Contacts with extraterrestrials has happened. The government say they're real. Abductees like us, we know they're real. So what happens if it does, like, you get an alien that's going to come down, land on the Kremlin garden,
here's the thing.
In and speak to Mr. Putin? How do you know that's not going to make Mr. Putin push the button? What makes people think that these alien beings are good and that mankind will be better because they're going to come down? What makes people think they're going to make the world a better place? Where are they getting that information from? That's what I want to
know. Over the past 100,000 years, how many races have been here? Going back past that, how many races have been here? And none of them are still here. Why is that? Now, like you said, what makes a race good? We've been warring all through history. Country of fighting country, killing. Every story of any tribe, any cult, anything was always about killing. All right. So what do we say a good alien comes down here? They're going to love us and say, you can't kill nobody. I mean, if it was like the day the earth stood still, I would believe it. They said, you either stop everything tomorrow or the world will be gone. And that's it. They would do that if they had any kind of good power. But the same as, well, if you believe in religion and stuff, well, God made us right. No, we're not right. We're here. We're in this planet because it's a disaster. And until we learn to grow, we're not going to ever leave it.
I mean, people don't realise, I don't think human beings, when you're in an environment that you're born into or grow into, it's not trying to kill you with death rays from the sun. It's not trying to drown you with floods. It's not trying to bite you with every poisonous animal and give you cancer in the environment and kill you. Everything on this earth wants to kill you, including other human beings. I don't think that we're actually in an environment where we're supposed to be. I don't think that this is our home, for one. That's just a starting point. Two, human beings don't get on with each other. We are social animals to a point, but then they just want to kill each other, rape each other, murder each other. We're killing the planet, other humans, we're killing the wildlife, populations. Nothing's evolving anymore. We're destroying all the food and crops, polluting the sea, killing whales still. People cannot see what's going on. And then you've got all these do-gooders climatologists. I'm not being funny. I've got nothing against environmentalists at all whatsoever. We should protect our environment. We should. We live in it. We've got to respect other creatures. We are just an animal or mammal on this planet, the same as the rest. Now, we've overthrown everything, killed everything off. But you're putting things in place that are not suitable for human beings. We need to clean up our act, definitely. There's no two ways about that. But I think a lot of people going about it the wrong way. But I'm getting off topic a bit here. But if you're an alien being, what was your purpose in coming here? You're coming to a dying, polluted planet with disease and with shooting and killing each other, trying to nuke each other. What would you benefit from that? You're not going to make it a better place. You're just going to make people more terrified. What do? You go there, rape and pillage it, take what the human beings are doing, take all its natural sources like the Anunnaki did millions of years ago, take all its gold and minerals and people, slaves, whatever they did, and just dump the rest here because we're the consequence of all of our history.
Well, let me say this. With Stephen Greer trying to get open up this big building to teach people how to talk to aliens, like Tina said, what are they going to talk to us about? Oh, you should be good. You shouldn't fight with each other. What are they going to give us that would make us better? Tesla worked with an alien race, people. He created 200 inventions. They were all copyrighted. He gave 50 of the most deadliest weapons to the United States government, people.
I notice Tommy's right there. I just want to cut in on that. Why is it then Da Vinci was given apparently he spent 2 years in a cave and was given all these drawings in his mind, and Tesla's the same. Why weren't they given cures? Why were they all given machines that run on electricity that hurt each other, pollute our planet by extraterrestrials? Why weren't they given cures to disease?
Well, Tesla didn't. Well, he did say before he died, they won't use my inventions wisely, but he didn't know how dangerous they are as well. When he created an earthquake machine, he almost leveled New York City, a square block in it. The police broke in and shut his machine off. But he was working on a doomsday weapon as well, people. He wasn't a love and light person. His energy idea of creating free energy would never work in a society when they only care about money. You can't have free anything when you want money. But outside of that, what was created was the Philadelphia experiment, the HARP system, time travel. All those things are changing reality at every level. And not one of them is doing anything positive for our planet or for our people. Or if we have free energy. And an electric car is not free energy. I don't want to get into that whole thing. It has nothing to do with aliens. But they don't use batteries like we do. All right? They don't have to charge their little battery up and things like that. Now, the government uses radioactive energy cells to charge their satellites. They got lights that can run on a little cell forever, never burn out. I mean, radioactive materials are used for a lot of things inside the government, not outside the government. Even in New Jersey, Picatinny Arsenal, the first army base on this planet inside the United States. All right. Recently, when I say recently, about 28 years ago, starting, that I know, they created 4 super soldiers there. All right. And they were released. They gave all these stories. They were given millions of dollars. Oh, we're closing it down the day after they get all this money. How could they close it down if they got all that money? Because they had, my friend worked inside there. It's the most incredible laboratory that he ever seen, that ever. And he says, well, they all wear these radioactive badges and stuff, which we should get you one to wear all the time. And it shows when you get too dosed of too much radiation and everything else. But these 4 drone, I don't know what you want to call them, super soldiers, but they went out in this giant black van. Who knows what they did with them? They can't walk the street. Their eyes are bright green and everything else. And they're super unnormal like. So guess what they did with them? I guess they planted them over some country in the middle of somewhere. But people, we're not good. Tell me what people do. And I say this. You say you're spiritual? What did we ever do spiritual in the past 100 years? What did we do spiritual in the past 1,000 years? 2,000 years ago, we killed Jesus. What else do you want to do? When you say you're spiritual, Moses comes off the mountain and kills everybody. Then they go to a city and all his people kill everybody there. Where's these good people we're good people?
Even the Bible's full of death, torture.
It's all about death.
No one's even came to save anybody. They tell people to walk through the desert and they was all dying.
But I will say this. Now, going deeper, which the government's working with, and I don't want to go into all the details. We don't have the time to. Aliens have been here. Aliens actually lived in Mexico for a long time. Now, they did a mine find there. Thousands of artifacts through the dig that they're doing. A friend of mine bought a lot of them. And they have the history of the graves. They have the history of what they did when they came. All this stuff, giant statues of aliens and little statues. They made pipes with alien heads on them and everything. It's incredible what was made a long time ago by aliens. But again, When these races lived here, they're not living here anymore. The Egyptians followed aliens. They didn't follow a god. Their history, their teachings are ridiculous. What they teach and taught and believed about reincarnation is ridiculous. All the teachings aliens gave to these different, the Mayans, the Aztecs, I mean, all of them have fake history of what's supposed to be real and not. Nothing pertaining to a real God. Nobody talks about a real God. But when they say we're God and we're going to blah, 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 you reincarnate? No, that's not what they taught the Egyptians or the Mayans or the Aztecs. Well, they told them they can, but they had to do all these stupid things to reincarnate. So their teachings, they come here now. What are they going to teach us? What can an alien give you right now that would make you happy? What could an alien say to you that would make you happy? You're a Superman. You could levitate mountains now.
What did they say? And how would you know that they were telling the truth?
That's the other thing, right? You don't.
How would you know that this alien that would land on a Buckingham Palace or the White House lawn or the Kremlin or in China? How would you know what they're telling you or communicating is the truth?
Our government doesn't tell us the truth. So why would we believe an alien race come down? Oh, the truth is, I'm God, and you got to listen to me.
But then you want to believe a race of people or beings that come to Earth under the guise of night, invade your airspace, invade your land, break into your home, take you, sedate you, torture you, rip eggs and babies and sperm and parts of your body and blood and stem cells out of you and disappear. You want those people to come land and then tell you the truth. What? Hello?
People have no clue what they really want to hear. They don't want to know the truth of
They
what's
don't
going
realize
on.
the consequences.
All right. We are responsible for our actions. Our actions create what we live in.
Who's going to hold them accountable?
Hawaii has the highest drugs in the world, in the United States, I mean, highest homeless people in the United States. And what are we doing about it? Nothing. But you talk to half of those people living on the beach, they all said they saw ships going into the ocean. I had a friend that died 2 years ago. He said over the geothermal plant here, which was about 2 blocks from my house, he said a ship was over it shooting these beams inside of it. He said a week later he was standing there and these 3 grays came walking towards him and his son. But he said he couldn't call me. The phone went dead when he saw the beams going into the base or whatever you want to call it. So all these little things are happening and they disappear. This person died. 15 of my best friends turned around, disappeared. 2 of them died. I mean, 2 of them were in jail. 1 of them's in a nut house. And 15 of them actually died. 2 went missing. So I'm talking about the best people that I knew in the UFO world. I'm talking from 30 years ago, at least. All right. Even the person that wrote Left at East Gate and Larry Warren, the guy that wrote the book with him is trying to say he's a liar and it's all fake and blah, blah, blah. I was with him before he did the book. We were at a UFO conference and we spent the weekend together. And he said, well, I got one. He had a recording. He went up to the ship and he actually touched it and everything else when they arrested him. He went into town to call the police, to call his family to tell him that there was an alien race there. And you know what they did? They took him and put him inside the base with the aliens underground. And they left him there for a while. And he said, I have no clue what I was supposed to do, what I was supposed to say. And then when they threw him out of the army, they stripped his ID for 10 years. This is 10 years later when he's trying to put the book out. So, when I tell people, if you have the truth, and why ain't I dead? I have no clue. All right. I don't put the government down directly. I mean, they're no worse than the aliens are. But the government's trying to support the rich people. And that makes their job their job. Aliens are supporting their tribe or whatever you want to call them. They have their own mission, what they're going to do with us and how they're going to work with us. Just had a debate with them. Oh, they want our blood. Yeah, they want our blood. They want everything else from us too. It's not just our blood. Now, I tell you this, they're eliminating all meat in the West Coast from the United States. Mr. Gates buying all the land out. He doesn't want cows to be used for food. And the United States is getting their meat from China now. So guess what? My good friend who's in top of everything says you need to take a magnet and a Geiger counter when you go to the store to buy meat. All right. And I was told the Geiger counter for meat a long time ago. So again, you get something coming from China, you think it's going to be safe? I think about what they could do to any package they send or any food that they send or any product they make,
Yeah.
especially if we go to war with them. All right. So that's one major problem that nobody's thinking about. Well, we're not going to go to war with them, or we're not going to go to war with Russia. Putin said he's ready to declare war and call it a war. All right. And he's going to give one of his prime ministers or whatever they call it says he's going to give all the reasons why. All right. That's I didn't even get to listen to it today. But there's so much stuff going up about this fake alien invasion, how they're preparing for war. They're doing all this testing. All right. And they're getting prepared. But if they shot 4 things down that they publicly said in a week. What happened for the past 10 years? They didn't shoot nothing down. What happened for the past 20 years? They didn't shoot nothing down. In 1952, when a fleet of UFOs went over the White House twice in a week, what could we do? Nothing. So obviously they got their hands tied. When Mr. Putin came out and asked Trump to tell the world what we're doing with aliens, and that was 3 months before he got elected. And he said, I want you to tell what else happened at 9/11. Tell them the truth. We're not going to hear the truth about that ever.
Can I just ask a question, Tommy? Have we got any updates or reports from, do you know that American Defense Department they were setting up about UFOs and how they were going to release reports? Anything from them?
That's all a game. All right.
No further updates or releases or reports?
Lou Elizondo, who's like on top of it, #1 speaker right now, won't admit to anything. I've been trying to get in touch with that. I won't call him a name, but he's afraid to talk to me. Whether the government said you can't talk to that person. And I know, I could tell you, I work with Sergeant 18, and he worked for the government before he got involved with UFO stuff personally with him and me. All right, we were driving at 70 miles an hour. A cop pulls us over, and he comes walking over and goes, I'm Sergeant 18, and the cop got in the car and drove away. That's all I know. All right. So I used to work for them. I used to do readings for them and stuff like that. But we went on government property for 6 years, filming weird creatures, ships, and you name it. All right. Nothing ever happened to him or me, except the beginning of this last year, we got into a fight over something ridiculous, which is his problem. And he pulled everything we ever did off of the internet. Every site. I have a video of Strange Universe, which we did when we did the TV show. And the day we did that TV show, it was taken off. And it was canned. They took it off the air the following week. Well, we showed a video of a ship moving across the sky, stopping, shooting 3 balls out, and then shooting out. All right. That was on public TV. How come nobody asks questions about things that are really important?
Tommy, you're right. There's been in England recently, over the last 6 months to a year, the news has been absolutely rubbish and horrendous. You can't find anything up to date. And when you do, it's 2 days old. They repeat the same things over. Whatever happened to on the news spot reporting, it doesn't happen. And the news you get is absolutely rubbish, very heavily censored here in the UK. You don't hear everything like when you switch on other foreign news channels. You don't hear it's very heavily censored. And that's only happened over this last year or two. So when people say, we only hear very small slithers of what's going on around the world. So, and like you said, they're not reporting. I did hear a 2-minute segment about the bit that broke off the sun and like what you said, but it wasn't major news. That should be that's affecting where we live. That's not like bird flu. That is now they reckon it's making a jump to humans and animals, not birds. So that's being looked at. That's another like SARS waiting to happen. That should be news around the world, and it's not. So Tommy's right. There's loads of news out there. It's heavily censored, and things like are life-threatening that affect human beings in our planet is not being documented. What's going on, people?
I was dealing with this person online. He claims he's a spiritual being of high power, right? And he said he's going to take me out. I'm not going to say his name, but I kept writing back and forth to him, and he kept threatening me and stuff. I said, go right ahead. I was a high priest when I was young. You're going to challenge my energy? Go right ahead and try. But in the interim, I just saw a link today. He says he was given the block by the YouTube, saying they're going to block him. He's got, I think, 4 days he's going to be blocked and blah, blah, blah. So, they block different people for different reasons. I'm blocked from Linked. All right. I had 3,400 followers, and they canned me. They blocked me from ever going back on it. I had to recreate a whole thing to get back on it, but I only got like 6 people following me, so I don't even use it anymore. But people, the old idea that we have free will, free speech, and all that? We don't. When it comes to UFOs, you have zero speech.
Well, and then, like Tommy just said, I'm just going to butt in there quickly. What people don't seem to realise is happening at the moment in the UK. I wouldn't surprise me if this COVID was done to every country around the world deliberately to undergo whatever the governments have agreed on. They're trying to introduce digital currency here in the UK, which means they're going to do away with money, do away with everything else. You have to pay for everything online. The problem with digital, and they've been having programs, Sky News and Great Britain News have been saying, if they go to digital currency in the UK, you're going to get sanctions. If you buy too much chocolate and the economy is low, you're going to be able to spend your money and buy DIY stuff or supermarket food. You're not going to be able to spend money on tissues or holidays if they think you've had enough, or well, we're not letting that person buy that. So what will be the point in working? We're heading down a road of great disaster here in the UK. In London, they've trialled these green no drive zones. You get fined £74, £75 for driving out of your street. All the shops are closed and people can't deliver. People can't go to dental appointments. It's killing the economy, and local people can't go to work. How is that helping? And they made millions of pounds off this last year. The world's gone crazy. There's no the military. I'm not a big fan of them. Military should be taking over Great Britain right now, in my opinion, and just saying to the House of Commons and the government, stop. We're here for the betterment of the UK, for the people. You're not obviously acting in the interest of the public no more. We can take over to you, can sort it out. And then that needs to happen here in the UK. It's madness, utter madness.
Well, people, what I've mentioned every other show I do is called UN Agenda 21-30. All right. We're at stage 4 in that, just so you know. And basically 193 countries agreed on it. Like Tina said, these countries are agreeing on certain things, and it's one world order. And basically when that happens, we lose all of who and what we are. But they don't want to control 8 billion people. There's no possible way they can control that many. All right. I mean, they've been trying to get the guns away from the people, but the people won't go for that. Even though I don't like guns or believe in guns, that's a different story. But people believe they have the right to have them, and in their so-called constitution, they do. So this whole thing going down is pretty mind-boggling because people don't want the truth. All these UFO people, I don't hear them saying anything important, anything bad about the aliens, anything. Well, they might want this, but who knows what they want? Who knows why they're here? Who knows what? Talk to 10 abductees and you'll know why they're here. I mean, these people aren't. What's his name? That scholar. I don't have his name, but he said that. I said it the last time. Out of 100 people, he said 75 of them have a brain problem. 10 of them might have been abducted, and blah blah blah. When people try to analyze somebody and they don't know what the experience is, how do you analyze like a DNA cell to something you don't have? Well, that's not an alien. How do you know it ain't? The Hopi people in the United States have a DNA cell that no other tribe on this planet has. Explain that. Oh, we all came from the black race. Explain that. These people are delusional, and then people listen.
Where did I come from then? Because I'm most rhesus negative. Everybody and every living creature to a couple of million years ago was positive. I obviously didn't come from there. And I'm a rhesus negative, which means my blood doesn't come from a macaque. I'm sorry. So where does that leave me? Well, on that note, Tommy, it's call 2.
It's her time. This is the time we show what's going on with Tina.
Now, obviously, I've been off air again. I apologise for my illness, and I've been having a bit of treatment, but I'm fine now. Tommy told me about 2 years ago, maybe 3, because we've been doing the show quite a while now, to get a Geiger counter because I'd had missing teeth and my hair's fallen out and I had other issues and fingernails. Yep, radiation time. And he told me to get, I thought he was joking, but believe it or not, Tommy is a very wise man and people may knock him for everything. But so he told me to get this. This was on Amazon and it cost me, Tommy has identical one in Hawaii. Don't forget, I'm in the UK. So this is my second one. The other one I dropped in a sink or in the tea. So this is what it is. Bought on Amazon, about 18, 20 pounds. It's probably about $20. That's what it is on the back. And that's what it is on the front. And to turn it on, you push this little button here. Sorry, it's not dirt under my nails. I was handling ink today at work. Right. Now, as you can see at the top, it is a volts per meter. So that's electrical magnetic magnet. There you go. Electrical magnetic radiation tester. So that's volts per meter and micro Teslas. So I hold it near a screen. Tommy's going to hold his up. Tommy's flashes because he doesn't have a smart screen TV. Now I have a smart screen.
I got to show you this. I got a mirror. I'm going to try to get it
on.
on.
Oh, wow, don't tell me. Initiative, no. High tech. So it's not going off near the screen, so you can see nothing's going on there. It's not emitting nothing.
Right,
now I'm going to put this to my head. Okay.
I'm trying. How do I get this light to get up?
The first time it is reading. Normally it beeps 22 micro testers. Normally this thing goes. Let's try this bit. Normally this thing beeps like mad. There you go. It's not beeping, so I'm safe today, Tommy.
No, but here's the thing, Tina.
Oh, no, I spoke too soon.
I got mine over you right now. I don't know if you could blow that up in the mirror.
I can see Tommy's is flashing now.
That's on the bottom, Tina.
So
when I got it over you, when I have it over you only, it's up to 90 right now on the bottom.
So that's actually my neck. Normally it's higher up in my head.
I never get a reading.
So and you can see at the bottom, when I get into, it says harmful. So I emitting harmful micro Teslas radiation. There you go.
But see, Tina, let me explain that again to you. Mine's that high. I don't get a reading of radiation anywhere else except when I put it over your picture. Harmful. I don't know how or why. Mine's going up. It's up to 78. And I got it over your face.
So I've got no background radiation because this would be giving off background radiation. I've got no volts per meter. Sometimes that has gone off, and human beings can admit that, naturally. But I don't admit any. Sometimes when I do, it is off the scale. So you're averaging -6 to 8. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Well, look, we know when it's not supposed to go off. That red light's not supposed to be blinking.
And it says harmful when it comes up with the flashes.
Right. Mine does too. So again, people, this isn't a game. We don't got fake meters, and we're not doing this for fun.
Amazon.
I worry about Tina all the time because of this, because she has all the symptoms of radiation poisoning. But I tell her this, and I don't know. She doesn't like to listen to it, but I believe the aliens are keeping her alive. All right, they got her children on a ship. I don't think they want her to leave yet. And I feel that's the main reason, because anybody else with radiation doesn't live too long. If you watch the movie Silkwood, watch what happens with radiation. She got exposed to radiation and they couldn't save her and she died. It was Cher was playing the role.
That's what I remember.
It's an incredible movie if you want to understand anything about radiation. But getting back to the base in New Jersey, they all had to wear these radiation badges. And you can buy them online even now. But this is a dangerous thing going on. I mean, outside of UFOs, but she has UFOs over her house all the time too, people. She could go out tonight and film a UFO over her house tonight.
I think it's mainly, I'm not sure it's just me. I think it's the location where I live. I live in Hampshire and it's
I think it's you too, because you're the ones getting abducted, not them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But for me,
that,
I have a light ship that follows me.
I'm just going to blast this out quickly because you've got about 9-10 minutes left. Guys, I'm just going to talk about quickly this year in about 2 months' time, April the 22nd, 23rd, 2023, at the Jubilee Hall in Bishop's Waltham, Little Short Lane, Southampton, SO32 1ED. There will be an Encounters Expo going on. It's a UFO alien conference organised by me. There's people from across the spectrum giving their points on different things, which is good. It's not just about one subject. There will be Gary Heseltine from Ancient Aliens, an ex-police officer who's done some stuff on Cable Green. He's the chief and editor of the UFO Truth magazine here in the UK. He's also a member of ICAR, a very high up gentleman in that. We'll be having Andy Thomas. He's a fantastic person, top in his field. For Andy talks about crop circles and other things like that, so he'll be talking about that. We have Ben Emlyn Jones. He's also an author. He's also a journalist. He will be there. He'll be giving you his view and aspects of different things we're looking at. David Hodrin, he is also a member of ISAR, and he's based here in the UK, and he does abductions. He's chairman for the UFO Birmingham UFO group as well, and he's lead investigator. There'll be me, Tina Bird, talking about abduction, expert in abduction. Lorraine Wilkins will be talking, speaking on behalf of Marshall Van Summers, a multi-million deal record breaker for selling books. Fantastic, all about aliens. And Maria Wheatley, up and coming, very good in the field of ufology. And she's released a new book. She'll be there soon. So just look all those guys up online. There'll be plenty of things going on there, plenty of things to see. But guys, need to sell tickets, need to do it for our deadline, and we hope to see you there this year in Southampton in the UK. Please go on to Encounters on Facebook. You'll see a page. If you go on to Tina Bird on Facebook, you'll see a link. Click on that link. It'll take you to my Wix website. Click on it. Just click on RSVP. Scroll down. Buy a ticket. They're only £30 each. That's it. £30 a seat for the day. Fantastic. That's your entry fee and everything else. You see all these phenomenal people talks, have your pictures taken with someone from Ancient Aliens, and the other guys there get to talk to an abductee firsthand. But with that, I'm going to hand it back to Tommy. We've got 7 minutes left. Tommy's sending that link, guys, and we'll be sending it to everyone on his book on how to see a UFO and things like that. Tommy's put his he'll always keep putting up his email address. If you want it, do it from there. He sent me links, so I'll be sharing that for Tommy as well. So please, every scrap of it. And if you guys, Richie and John, happy Valentine's Day, John. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone else. So you've got John and Richie tonight. Thank you guys for coming on the show. If you guys have anything to contribute or you want to come on, me and Tommy will happily come on and talk to you on the show. If you guys have any answers from any previous shows or any questions, please email me.
I'm allowed to bring 10 people on. But please, guys, I bring anybody on. I do not need comedians on my show. This ain't a funny show. I don't promote jokes because it's not the most serious thing happening to the planet right now. Go to a UFO conference. They like to make you laugh. Oh, ship landed. Oh, that was so hilarious when that guy came out and he shook his hand. I mean, they'll find something funny in it. I don't find anything funny in what's going down. Just to show you, I was watching a movie called The Protector. It's a series that was done in Turkey. I've been watching it for a week. I didn't realize where it was filmed until 2 days ago. And then when I realized in the movie, these not aliens, but they're super beings and stuff, and they're going to destroy the world. They got to kill all the humans, and they put poison in the water. But they show you Turkey with a disaster area all through the cities and with the homeless, and they're trying to give them water. But it's the same thing that I saw online when the picture of Turkey came up. I was mind-boggled because I said, I'm watching it, and I'm watching it in the movie I'm watching. And I just said, it's not a coincidence. I don't believe in that anyway. But it's just scary what's going on there. Now, they're saying 2.5 million people are in serious trouble. So, a country can't survive like that. We don't have the money to do it. We don't have the facilities to do it. How many funeral parlors do you think they have? They're going to be burning piles of bodies, and they're going to be doing all kinds of weird stuff there. And it's going to be toxic at every level, no matter what. People, are you ready to face what's happening? I mean, everybody's going to pray. They'd rather watch the game Sunday than worry about people over dying. I said, yeah, that's their attention. They don't care. Well, I could get entertained by watching these guys get paid tons of money to throw a little ball around. People, we have our attentions in a little box. It says drugs, drinking, and partying. Not about life and support and real compassion, real love, and things like that. Why is that? What's wrong with those words? I think love is the most important word if people realize what it means. Oh, I love you for today, tomorrow I don't. But love's not like that, people. Love's forever.
You got to
All
love
right.
yourself first as well.
And if you can't love yourself, you're not going to love anybody else. People, I'm glad Tina's here today. I missed her last week and whatever. She's going through so much, people. I don't want to interfere with her life. I mean, I wish I could get out there for the conference and things. But we got so many things going on. We have to be aware of it. The people in Hawaii, half of them don't have TVs, really, and they don't want to know the news. Oh, when the earthquake, I mean, I was living right near it, and I had to move to the other part of town to get away from it. Luckily, it stopped the week after I moved, which was really bizarre.
Sorry, Tommy, John's just brought up a very thing. Hello, Javier. Is it Javier? Is that right? Am I pronouncing that right? And John, so no, I saw a thing only briefly on news. It wasn't even English news. That a train was on fire for 20 hours. Is that right? And it released this chloride into the air, which is highly poisonous. And it's they're looking into that now. That should be top news in the area where you live. Thanks for bringing that to us. That is true, and thank you for bringing that attention, John. And this is what our channel's here for. With that, sorry, I've got to leave now because you see I'm starting to flush very red. I think it's time.
Well, Tina, it was definitely a pleasure. Stay healthy. Try to get healthy. I'm with you always. I think about you all the time.
Thank you. And I just want a quick thank you for everyone that sent me birthday wishes for last week. And I was 52 last week. Thank you. And I also like to thank people that sent me and my family well wishes when I was in hospital as well and been ill. So thank you for that. I'm on the mend now, guys. And there was only one. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, they don't let people tell the truth. That's the other thing.
That's it. Yeah. So thank you very much, John. That's right. But keep coming on the show, guys. Come on. If you've got news.
Have a happy Valentine's Day.
I'm going to get it down. Happy Valentine's Day, and thanks for coming on, guys. I'll see you next week with more updates. Take care. See you all then. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.
All right, people. I'll stick around a few more minutes. We got to be aware of what's going on right now. They're not going to tell you the truth. Nobody's going to tell you the truth. You're going to hear more stories about we're going to become six-dimensional beings. We're going to be doing this, that, and the other thing in the UFO world. That's all they're promoting. Pull up. I don't even want to say her name. She has 3 movies out there saying cloning's good and walking around half alien is good and all this other stuff. They can't make it on their planet to come in here to destroy ours, the same as we're trying to get to theirs and destroy theirs. That's a game we play. We're warring creatures, people. We're in, I call the bottom of the barrel called hell. And we're trying to get out of it. Not come back, not trying to stay here. These people that want to live forever here, why? Because they never experienced being out of them. I don't talk about this stuff because Tina's not there because she doesn't kind of believe in religious stuff because of what happened to her. I don't blame her. All the things she goes through, there's no God protecting her in her world. The government's not protecting her. The government's not helping her. Her body is going through so many things. She's in the hospital every other week. Think anybody cares or why? But they did take this, in her book, I'm sure you're going to read about it. They cut this thing out of her stomach. And they won't let nobody see the video because in England, they film every operation. And when they took it from her, she wasn't allowed to see it. She went to court. And you know what they said in court? It is too controversial. We can't release it. We can't release what they cut out of your stomach. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Again, I can go on with stories meaning the government knows, hospitals know, and things like that. The government warns them and tells them, well, if anybody calls in and they say they got burnt, tell them to take aspirins. That happened to a friend of mine, a multi-millionaire on Long Island. Long Island's dangerous because that was where the Montauk Project actually ended up. And I can go into that. Nobody else in the UFO world can in any detail. I mean, when it was Al Bielek and Preston Nichols, but both of them are dead now. But the first one tried to tell a story, which he wasn't the one that went back in time. Al Bielek was, not Preston Nichols. All right, then he formed with Peter Moon and created a book and all that. They had no clue. I saw the Hershey monkey that came out of there. I saw Bigfoot the day after I saw the Hershey monkey. We were involved with that. A friend of mine was in the chair. Two people I know, sorry, that were actually in the chair in the Montauk Project. What they're doing there. Well, Preston Nichols was on top of that. They filled it with concrete so nobody else could ever get in there again. You know, it's funny when not on a religious level, but when Mother Teresa died, they had her locked in a dungeon, and they sealed it so nobody could ever go in there. I guess they're afraid of psychics going in there and feeling the energy and feeling what really happened. Now, remote viewing was kind of taken away from the government because they were remote viewing the government, and they were afraid of that. But basically, remote viewing, I'm going to tell you people, is against the spiritual law. Whether you care about it or not. I'm not talking about a religious law. There's so-called spiritual laws which run a whole planet and a universe. And that law is called the law of non-interference. And it means nobody has the right to interfere in somebody else's life. Who obeys that law? Anybody? Do they even respect it at any level? Do they know what it means? But when you do remote viewing, you're invading a space of energy of people. And it's not good. And you're not, even demons can't come in your house unless you invite them in. So, it's like the law. Police have to get a search warrant to get in your house. They just can't walk in it. But what makes you think all this stuff is good, or some good aliens are going to come here and help us? That's mind-boggling. Go to these UFO conferences. Well, I met with one, and they showed me cities, and they could show you anything they want. Pull up Corey Good, his story. Watch what he said, the videos they showed him in his head. I can go back to the beginning of the Galactic Confederation, the Ashtar Command. You don't want the truth about that because there's millions of people following that. It's a mind program. Government created it. Nobody even wants to talk about that. They won't talk about it. But everything they ever said never came true. Every time. Well, a ship's going to land tomorrow. We're going to meet up on the mountain. Never happened. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, it didn't happen. And then their excuse, it happened in a different dimension. Oh, really? What dimension is that? This is the physical dimension where we live in our soul bodies, stay in this body for 125 years max. And then somebody just wrote a story about everybody lived thousands of years. No. Can anybody prove that? Prove how long Moses lived. Is there a record? Can you prove that? Can you prove everybody lived old and were old? When Moses walked them around in circles for 40 days and 40 years, they all died. And all the children went to the promised land. When they got to the promised land, they killed everybody there. That's a religious story? It's a killing, murdering story. What do you want to get out of religion? Oh, God forgives me? No, Jesus forgives everything you do. No, it doesn't. He doesn't want to do that. When he was alive, I was there, one of my lifetimes. What he said to people, go out and sin no more. What's that mean? Come back next week and ask for forgiveness? No, if you know the truth, you can't go against it. Now, to bring that to a higher level, all the higher angels were cast out of the higher realms. Lucifer was a high angel. He was an archangel, people. He was never the devil, and he was never Satan. Satan exists down here. All right, Lucifer is on the next realm. And he's one of the deities, gods that are there protecting people from going into the next realm. There's 3 deities, Satnam, Jehovah, and Lucifer. People can't talk about that because they don't even know it. They don't know how to get past the astral plane to get into the next 3rd world, 4th world, 5th world. Soul resides on the 5th world, people. And just because you say, I'm super spiritual, doesn't mean anything. Psychic abilities, which Caroline Corey is promoting, and all these people, well, I got psychic abilities. Really? She said she could levitate a piece of paper. Oh, I guess. But she says she can change DNA. DNA is an energy, and we can change energy. I work with a medicine woman, Ocean of Fastwolf. She died about 2 years ago, but she was the first person in the United States to teach about crystals. Native people were into crystals, believe it or not, people. And she taught it. This other woman, Melanie, who created all these crystal books and everything, was her student for a while. Plagiarized everything she ever did. Ocean had never copyrighted all the stuff she taught, which she should have. And that the native people are really a brunt. Robert Morning Sky, I went on a vision quest with him. We were going to meet aliens and everything else that whole time. After that, he was run over by a black car in front of his house. He broke every bone in his body. He was talking about aliens, and he was the first person talking about Planet X. Then, guess what happened? They picked him up and said he was going to do a TV show. He was mind programmed after that. He started coming after me. I don't want to go into all those details, but people don't respect Native people, never did and never will. They want to give all these black race money. They never talk about Native people. Why is that? What they did to the Native people is 10 times worse than what they did to the black people. Black people could have left and go back to their country. Native people had no place to go back to. No, wherever they would try to go back, they took it away from them. People would live in a horrible society. The Constitution was stolen from the Native people, and people were fighting over guns. Do you know why the government allowed people to have guns? So they could shoot Native people. They got paid lots of money for a man's scalp. They got paid for a woman's scalp. They got paid for a baby's scalp. That's the truth, people. I'm not making it up. It's not like the TV shows where they were scalping a white man. No, that wasn't the way it went down. The government wanted to know the natives were dead. And the only way they could prove that is to have this. They couldn't take the whole body. They just took the scalp. People, you want to know history? You want to know the facts? That history is not taught in any school. Why is that? Because it's the truth. And the government doesn't want to face that the Constitution's half stolen. And it was only for the rich people. It was never for the poor people. And people say, oh, the Constitution says free will. For the rich people, not for the poor people. Gates can do what he wants. Gore can do whatever he wants. Musk can do whatever he wants. These people have money. Gates came out. You know what he did? Oh, no, Gates. I mean, Gore. Al Gore, sorry. He's the one that created global warming, the word. All right. He never said what causes it. He showed the effects of it. The truth is, nobody talks about what causes global warming. And it's not cow farts. It's not the moon. What do you call it? The way our stuff goes out into space, freon. It's not about that. It's not about carbon emissions. Sorry, people. That's not what's destroying our planet. We are, as people, pull up directed energy weapons. Pull up what the HAARP system is capable of doing. I fought it half of my life. Mr. Putin wants global warming. He wants to have hot weather for 9 months instead of 5 or 4, whatever they have. All right? He said it. People, we're living in a really screwed up world right now. And people, their excuse to drink, excuse to do drugs, and their reason for it is because there's nothing else to think about. Nothing good to think about. What good things are going on the planet? Can we help 100,000 people starving and 100,000 people dead? Can we do anything for them? The families, anybody in the families? They found a little girl underneath stones alive. So it's really mind-boggling how some souls survive and really want to. Quick, let me get a drink. I'm losing my voice real fast. Sorry about that. Time is moving faster. Excuse me. And I don't know if you know anything about time travel. I don't want to go into that story now. Maybe sometime soon. What really went down? What's really happening from that? It was the worst thing man could do. CERN is going to be the second worst thing that we could do. All right. If they keep doing what they're doing. They said they created a black hole, microscopic. Well, they only tell you the truth 25 years later, don't they? And that's been around for a while already. So by the time they tell you we actually created a black hole that they're trying to go through, will be a while. I can go into a lot more stuff. People, I can't be the only one that gives it to you because you'll never accept it. You need all people from ancient aliens to come out and tell you the truth, but they don't have it. You need all the priests and ministers and rabbis to come out and tell you the truth. They don't have it. They don't know nothing about God. They don't know the truth about Jesus. What are they going to teach you? Oh, forgiveness, forgive everybody. Why? Do you think you have the right to forgive a murderer? You don't. A rapist, any of those things, you think you have the right to do that? Oh, well, I send love to the whole world. So, does it help anything? All the love that's been being sent out. Did it help Tibet when it got blasted away by a volcano? Earthquake, sorry. I mean, 250 temples were destroyed. And Mr. Dalai Lama, he can't go back to Tibet. He'd be killed the second he got there. Anybody that still prays him, worships him, will be killed or put in jail. It's horrible what's happening, people. And we say we care, and we're the this that. We don't want people coming into our country. No, because we let all the homeless and drug addicts and everybody else come into the country first. We let all the Spanish prisoners come into the United States. We built on a sick society. And you want to go, we're going to become six-dimensional beings? We're going to levitate things for what? Build another pyramid for what? It didn't help any of those races, people. You know, they killed 50 million native people in 400 years. Tribal people are gone, the truth. I mean, there's only less than 1 million true native people left in the United States. And nobody cares. They're not giving them any money. Why not? They did bribe all the medicine people. Not medicine people. The chiefs of a nation. Every nation in the United States is controlled by a government person. Whether he's native or not is a story, because if he's native, he has to go by the rules of being a white person. If he's not going to accept those rules, they put a white person in power over the native nation. In fact, whether you want to know that or not. All right. But the ones that are active, they're all millionaires now, too. You know, if you knew the truth about everything, your mind would explode. Mine doesn't, because I'm just so used to it, because I started when I was 6 years old. It's not like I grew into it. All right, people. I know it might have been long for you for now or whatever. I can only do what I can do in the time frame I have. And I'm telling you, check out what's happening right now. Pull up Turkey. Pull up what's really going on. Pull up about the UFO invasion. Pull up about what's really happening with the war. The smart people, the spiritual beings left in Atlantis. Real fast, there were 9 races here in Atlantis, people, not 4. 5 of them left right away before Atlantis was destroyed. Meaning the white, red, yellow, and black race stayed, the few that were here. All right? And they multiplied, and they were controlled by all these alien races and stuff. And then the Mayans and the Aztecs were all dealing with aliens. They weren't dealing with a higher being, higher deity. All right, people. I hope you got something out of today. Please send this to everybody you know. The truth has to come out. And people, if you got anything really important to show it right now. Because they're going to still try to prove that everything's a balloon, everything's this, everything's Russian, everything's Chinese, or no. If a ship travels across the sky in 2 seconds, it's not a balloon, people. And it's not a satellite. And it's not a plane. It's not a helicopter. And it's not a jet. All right, people. I have a book. I wrote it 2 years ago already on how to see a UFO field manual. I'll give it to you for free if you text me, hawksblood1aol.com. And it's a PDF file. You could read it. It's guidelines to how to see a UFO if you really want to see a UFO. Oh, DCOM 1. Right. Sorry about that. I didn't mention that before. I forgot what the numbers. I'm bad. I got dyslexia with numbers and letters. So, yeah, it's really hard for me, especially when I'm a writer. So, yeah, it takes me 10 times to get it edited to even close to what I was trying to say. People, I'm working on my last book. It's done. I'm trying to find an editor for it. It has nothing to do with aliens. And my book could probably be human aliens, meaning men. But it's for women only. Why? Because men don't need to read what I'm telling these women. Because then they'll always look for a way to combat it or fight it or go around it. A man tries to win a woman's heart to take it. That's all. Whether they want to keep it or not, it's a different story. Pull up the movie, The Protector. It's a cool movie. It was done in Turkey. See what Turkey looks like. See how crowded it is. You drop a bomb on that, you destroy half of the continent of their foundation. I mean, whatever. Check it out, people. We're in a really sad situation, and it's not going to get better anytime soon. The good people praying aren't going to make it better. Tibet was a really spiritual city until it was taken over by China. All right, Rev.Hawksblood here. I'm on a big island and there's so much going on. Come out to Hawaii. Spend a couple nights outside. You're going to see stuff no matter where you come from. I tell everybody I got poor people in the neighborhood seeing UFOs and everything. But we have a lot of crime as well, which I'm dealing with around the neighborhood and stuff. So it's not the most beautiful place on the planet. Maybe what perception on what you call beautiful. Water, land, palm trees, crime, drugs, poor people, homeless people. That's not beautiful. Seeing homeless people being pushed and shoved here, there, and everywhere. When I was out in California when it was happening, it was horrible. It's a horrible thing. Considering it doesn't have to be. People usually become homeless because of a family death or somebody died, a relationship split, and then they have nobody to work with or help. Take care, people. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging out. Please send this link to everybody you know. I don't know. I feel they're going to cut me off soon. But that's how things go. When this other guy said they're blocking him, he just claims to be God. So I don't know why they would attack him. He's telling stories every which way. All right. Peace, people. Compassion. Whatever you need in your life, look for it, find it. Don't stop until you get it. And when you get it, make sure it's what you really want. Till next time.